NFL and NCAA locks are coming up.
Make money, money, make money, money, make.
Football Friday has you covered. Now, here's Monty.
Hey, yo, man. Hell yeah, it's Friday, and we're already halfway through October on The Monty Show. Happy Friday to you, man. I hope you had a good week. We have a lot of football to get to today. We have a lot of giveaways to get to today. Mainly this Xbox Series S, 120 frame rates per second.
Good stuff.
And things. We're giving that away when we get to 3,000 subscribers, so make sure that you subscribe. Get on board, win the Xbox. All you have to do is take a picture, show us that you're subscribed, and tag us on social media. Follow us for all kinds of fun and hijinks. Tag us in a photo on Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok. The Monty Show, M-O-N-T-Y, The Monty Show. Jake is SLC Supercars. Tag us in a photo on one of those three platforms, and you are good to go. We are at 2,430 subscribers. So we are just a mere, what is that, 570.
Sure,
right?
I'm not a math major,
Yeah,
but
there you
yeah,
go.
something like that.
Something
sure.
like that. Or
And stuff.
2,530, whatever. We're about
Yeah.
400 subs away. So let's knock that out. By the way, thanks so much. Yesterday was one of the single biggest days we've ever had on the audio portion of this podcast. Love to see that Amazon is coming through. So you guys are asking Alexa to find the Monty Show podcast, which I love. So that's super cool to see you guys doing that. You can find it anywhere you're looking for a podcast. Just search The Monty Show, M-O-N-T-Y, The Monty Show, certainly Spotify, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, you name it, you can find us, or just Google search The Monty Show, M-O-N-T-Y, The Monty Show. James Knight, first one in, good morning to you. Cody Strickland's back. Holy cow.
Wow.
Cody, where you been, bro? Good to see you. Oh, fuck, oh, no. Cody Strickland said, good morning, been away a while. My new wife tore her ACL and needed to take care of her after surgery for the past few weeks. Can't believe how painful it is after surgery.
Dude.
That's a bummer, dude. I tore my ACL when I was 18 years old, and it was not fun. And I don't have an ACL in my left knee. But it's worth to get it fixed. Do the rehab. Cody, do the rehab. Make sure she does the rehab. I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. But, Cody, it's really good to see you. Let's talk Football Friday. It is already Friday here on the program.
Yep.
And that means we've got locks for you. But obviously, we're starting with BYU at Baylor. This is that game. And I don't know, maybe I'm making too much of this, but I think there's so many issues with BYU right now that I think this is that game where you point to and you say, is this the game that defines your season? And that may seem dramatic, that may seem over the top, but hear me out. You lost, and you lost ugly to Boise. And a lot of people just flipped off the BYU football switch and were like, all right, time to get ready for snowboarding. I'm telling you, the season's not over. Everything you want is right in front of you. You just have to win games. And that starts this weekend at Baylor. And, Jake, I wonder your thoughts. BYU, a 6-point dog on the road. The number is only 50.5. I wonder your thoughts about what's left to play for BYU.
Yeah, I think there's still a lot to play for. You know, it is unfortunate they did lose to Boise because I really do think that that's going to make their life difficult in terms of getting into the college football playoff. But I do still think you can play for a major bowl, and I certainly think that if you're a football team, you're not going to sit here and say that the season's over halfway through. Are you going to be able to get to the pinnacle of the sport? Probably not. Are you going to be able to get to a major bowl? Yeah, definitely. You know, and so that's what I think they have to play for. But I also think if you're Kalani and that coaching staff behind the scenes, you've been doing all this recruiting. You know, you've really been kicking ass in that department, and I think, you know, if you were to, you know, end this season with 8 wins, let's say, instead of 10, I think that'd be a real crying shame. You know, I think that would be a situation where, you know, you left stuff on the table this year. And I think you have my point is you have all this momentum in recruiting. You had all this momentum on the field before the Boise State game. Now you just need to go and get that back. And the other thing that I think is important in this game is being that they're on the road. You know, BYU hasn't played a lot of road football yet. They really haven't gone on the road much and done anything. So I'll be really curious to see how this turns out for them, because I think you have a QB situation that's kind of up in the air still. You're getting a lot of guys back this week. LaChance is going to be back, and several other guys who were injured against Boise will be back this week. So you should theoretically be pretty healthy, pretty much, full go for most guys. So I don't know. I just think in terms of momentum and where you're at as a team, this is a huge game. And yeah, it would help if you could beat Baylor on the road for strength of schedule purposes. Because as we talked about all year long, this schedule isn't exactly loaded with P5 talent. You gotta go and look on this schedule like, all right, what's the big win? Well, right now, if Utah can beat ASU this weekend, it's going to be Utah, right? But other than that, there's not much left. So Baylor, for that purpose, is also a huge game. So that's what I think they had to play for.
The bummer is the Pac-12 is so mediocre right now.
Yeah.
That you're really struggling, in my opinion anyways, you're really struggling for strength of schedule. And that's something that obviously BYU is going to need when you lose to a team like Boise and you do it ugly, turning the ball over, which you hadn't been doing. It just puts you in a position now where you need help outside of you winning the rest of your games. BYU needs help to get to a New Year's Six Bowl. And unfortunately, you have teams like Utah and BYU that are running into each other, or Utah and ASU, that are running into each other who you've beaten both of them. So one of them is going to have another loss, which is not going to help you. I mean, you really need Boise State to go on and win big games, because I don't know that winning out on its own is going to help BYU get to their bowl aspirations.
Yeah.
I personally don't believe that the college football playoff is done. Are you 90% done? Sure you are. But based on what we've seen in college football this year and the fact that so many teams have lost, and that you're looking at fresh blood in the playoff, and that fresh blood is likely not going to be undefeated unless Georgia somehow navigates the shark-filled waters of the SEC, you have an opportunity. But that starts in Waco tomorrow afternoon. And I think one of the things that's really critical here is you've got to settle this quarterback position at BYU. And I know that there's a lot of people that are upset that, Baylor Romney is even being talked about as somebody who should be starting. But I think it's hard to ignore what we saw from Jaren Hall last week. Sure, he threw for 300 yards. Does he deserve to lose his job? No, he probably does not. He has not played poorly, if you will. But what are you not putting on the field with Baylor Romney on the sideline? It's not that Jaren Hall has played poorly. It's the skill set that Baylor Romney has. It's that big play over the top ability that Jaren Hall just does not offer you. And furthermore, if he's not healthy enough to run, and you can't tell me a guy is going to go from -3 yards and not running at all to running all over the field against Baylor. I don't see that happening. If Jaren Hall can't run, he's an average quarterback. But I don't think Jakey deserves to lose his job at this point.
No, I don't think it's a situation where he's played so poorly that he deserves to lose his job. But I think that's not the conversation. The conversation is, how much better can we be with Baylor on the field? And I think in college football, specifically for BYU, when they have the dynamic, that Baylor brings, which is the defense has to respect the deep ball, it really helps everybody else, And so to me, I like Jaren a lot. I like that he's dual threat. I like what he can do on the ground. I do. But at the end of the day, it's hard for me to say that I would start Jaren over Baylor if I want to go and win a national championship. That's the thing. It's not that Jaren's a bad player, but I look at what Baylor Romney is capable of doing. He doesn't need to run to get the job done, right? Like he can a little bit. We've seen him do that.
Right.
But when it's Romney on Romney crime, and it's the Nakua brothers getting loose in the secondary, that's a lot of fun to watch. And then all of a sudden, you once you get the passing game going, now you have a guy in Tyler Algier who's going to be the hammer, when you're handing it off. And so I just think that it's not that Jaren sucks or Jaren's a bad guy, but I just think with what we've seen from Baylor, I don't know how we can even dispute the fact that they're a better team when he's on the field. That's the trouble, So, and I think we do this in sports too a lot, where we'll be like, hey, because the backup is better, the guy filling the backup role is better, that means the guy who's starting sucks. And it's really not that. It doesn't have almost anything to do with Jaren not being good. It just has more to do with the fact that Baylor's skill set allows BYU to go further and do more. And so to me, like based on everything I've read this week and based on, what we're hearing and not hearing, frankly, because that's kind of how it works at BYU. What you don't hear is kind of almost as important as what you do hear, right? Based on what I've heard, it seems like, Jaren is going to start, but it seems like the leash is going to be pretty short. If they're not moving the football, if the offense isn't in good flow, don't be surprised if you see a Baylor Romney appearance in this game. And that's the way it should be, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you have to have the courage as a coaching staff to play the guy who gives you a chance to win the game. And I'm not saying that Jaren should even be on a short leash. What I'm saying is Baylor Romney has to be an option. He has to be a guy. Furthermore, I don't even know that Jaren Hall is going to be able to stay healthy for the rest of the season. They've got still several key critical matchups coming, including Broncos return to Provo. Jaren Hall's the guy that's got to prove that he can play, really 9 games a year and stay healthy doing it. And I don't know that he can do that. He's never shown the ability to do that. So I think we're going to see Baylor Romney again for BYU. It's a matter of when, not if, in my opinion, because I think you also get yourself into these positions where, it's almost a bad thing if you're talking about the backup quarterback. And in this case, I kind of agree that it's not ideal. It would have been great if Jaren Hall would have come out, stayed healthy, and been a superstar. Mm-hmm. That didn't happen. And it's not happened in the past, and my guess is it won't happen in the future. But the good news is you've built depth into the program. What good is depth if you're not going to use it? And I know it takes courage, and I know it's a big move, but I'm telling you, if Jaren goes down again and Baylor comes in and plays well and throws deep and shows you that he can be a franchise-level quarterback for the BYU Cougars, I think you have to play him on a consistent basis.
You do. And you said something there. You have to play the guy that gives you the chance to win the game. I like to phrase that personally is you got to play the guy that clearly gives you the best chance to win the game. You have to play the guy that the rest of the team can get behind, because let's not forget what we saw last week, right? I don't want people to forget about this. Last week when Kalani Sitake ran out a 50% Jaren Hall onto the field instead of running out the rook, if you will, in Jacob Conover, what did we see? We saw guys trying to do too much. We saw guys not believing that their quarterback who was injured, right? It's nothing personal against Jaren, but the fact is you were injured and everybody knew it. So what did we see? Guys trying to do too much, guys trying to make plays they don't normally make. And so to me, I'm just like, all right, overall, when you think about the injuries that both of these guys have sustained, for long term and for the rest of the season, that kind of outlook, I would think that Baylor Romney's injury, which is a concussion, or what was a concussion, is probably going to allow him to be in a better position in the long term than bruised or broken ribs, a labrum, rotator cuff issue for Jaren. So that's why I just say you're going to Waco to play Baylor. This is not Stony Brook you're playing. This is a good team, and you have a lot on the line.
Well, this is one of 7 P5 teams on your schedule.
Yeah.
And you need to go 7-0 against those teams. I mean, it's really unfortunate that Boise game played out the way it did, but you can't go back and undo it. And at this point, my mind is that Jaren Hall has to be the same guy throwing the football this week that he was last week. And it's really critical that he not turn the football over. But it's also really critical that he has the ability to run the football. Because if Jaren doesn't have the ability to run the football, I think you have to look elsewhere. And you know what the other thing is? This defense is going to have to stand up against Baylor. Because I think Baylor does a decent job taking the football away. But BYU's defense has to do a better job creating turnovers.
Yeah.
The secondary has to do a better job creating turnovers. You know what? And the other real critical stat in this game is third down efficiency for Baylor. BYU's defense has to get off the field on third down. That much is very clear. I think Dave Aranda's done a very nice job building Baylor's defense. They do very well getting off the field. I think they are the most efficient passing defense in the Big 12. So I think it's one of those things that that you're going to have to see what BYU can do to avoid mistakes and get off the field on third down. I know I've said this repeatedly, and you're probably tired of hearing me say it. I'm really worried about that secondary for BYU.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the secondary hasn't exactly shown consistency this year, and it's not that the defense as a whole has been bad, but I think when we look at BYU just overall in the big picture, I think we can confidently say that the line play on both sides of the ball has been pretty darn good. You've been in a good place with the offense and defensive line. I think the issue for BYU's defense is the way they go about it. It's the mentality with which they play. You're essentially begging teams to throw a bunch of intermediate routes. And what that requires of you then is to be disciplined with your tackling. And so when we're seeing missed tackles and we're seeing bad defensive play out of BYU, I mean, what do you expect, right? You're going to give up points. And so in this game, I think not only does this game serve as one of the most important on your schedule, but it also serves as a great measuring stick for where both sides of the ball are for BYU. Because Baylor is talented and they're a good team, they're going to test you. And by the way, with you being on the road for basically the first time all year, it is a big deal that you go to Waco and you show that you are prepared. That Boise State was a fluke.
Well, and I think Jeff Grimes obviously is a big talking point this week. Former BYU offensive coordinator. Obviously, he and Kalani are very close. He's now the offensive coordinator at Baylor. He went home to take this job, and I think what he's done with Jerry Bohannon is he's turned a quarterback into a guy that's very efficient with the football. 11-0 touchdown interception ratio. Well, that's pretty good. So that's why I say I worry about this secondary a little bit, and I worry about the BYU secondary's ability to create turnovers. I mean, when the other thing you look at is Abram Smith and Treston Ebner are averaging 6.9 yards per carry.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is a lot. Now, this BYU defensive front is very good against the run, in my opinion. I think the linebackers are fast. They gap fill well. I think BYU's defense is going to hold up. I think it's going to be very difficult for Baylor to get big plays against on the run against BYU's defense. I think these things are all really critical points, but BYU cannot turn the football over. And BYU's coming off of a loss that I would think is motivating for that club. I mean, when you look at what happened here, I think BYU has a point to prove. This is no longer a team that's just trying to become bowl eligible. Both these clubs are going to be bowl eligible. There's no doubt about that. You're trying to prove that you can play quality football. And I think that's a question right now for BYU. There's a lot of people wondering, was what happened before Boise a fluke or was what happened with Boise a fluke?
Yeah.
I'm here to tell you what happened with Boise's a fluke. This is a good football team. This is a quality football team that's very well coached. Ball security is not something that I worry about with Kalani Sitake coach teams. It's not. I think that they are well coached. I think A-Rod's got this offense right where it needs to be. My only concern on offense is Jaren Hall and his ability to be mobile and win the game with his legs. I mean, I think when you look at what BYU has ahead of them, I mean, Washington State, Virginia, Georgia Southern, and USC, I mean, that's a ball-breaking schedule. They have a lot to prove. This is a critical game, and my guess is they show up, Jake.
Yeah, I think they'll show up, and I think the schedule is, I mean, from here, it's definitely not easy. The Virginia game is nothing to play with. Obviously, this game is nothing to play with, and I would really hope that they're a one-loss team headed to USC, because if that's the case, we're going to have a lot to talk about on this show that week, and I just think that this whole quarterback situation, like if we take a step back and we kind of look at this from like a bigger picture perspective, this whole quarterback situation needs to get settled this week. Like I feel like Jaren is either going to come out in the first quarter and establish himself and say, hey, this is my team. We're moving this football. Like everything's good, right? We look good doing it. Or he's going to come out. He's going to try and do too much. He's going to turn the football over, and it's going to be Baylor's team. So I just think that they got to get that figured out. I'm not a big fan of the not being definitive on who the starter thing is, because Kalani was specifically asked, what's it looking like? And he said, everyone's practicing and we'll make a game time decision. So I don't love that.
No, I don't like that either. I think, I mean, it's very clearly Jaren Hall. It'd be shocking.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's interesting is how much the BYU program has closed ranks. There's not a whole lot of information coming out of Provo these days.
Yeah.
And the first month of the season, frankly, it was not hard to get news. They're playing it pretty tight, and they should. When I look at this game again, the numbers -6 in favor of Baylor.
Yeah.
50.5 is a number, and I think this is going to be one of the closest games of the year. Unfortunately, I think I have to take Baylor, and it's going to be something in the order of 31-30. I think this could be one of those games where whoever has the ball last is going to win.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the defining factor of this game will be Baylor's ability to throw the ball down the field. And it is the Achilles heel of that BYU defense, in my opinion. So I'm going to take Baylor 31-30. It's a loss, but a cover and an over for BYU, Jake.
Okay, yeah, I mean, so I'm going the other way. I think that BYU is more than capable of winning this game, but I think what it's going to take is a really clean game, a really disciplined effort. So I don't just mean the turnovers. I'm talking about no turnovers, correct ball placement from Jaren when he's throwing the football to allow his receivers to run after the catch, right, to make plays. And that's what I'm going to be looking for. And yeah, the defense is going to have to play good. You cannot have any missed assignments or 70-yard over-the-top touchdown passes. So to me, specifically, on offense, what I'm going to be looking for is Tyler Algier to get back to who he's been. This is the kind of game where you need Tyler Algier to run for 100 really physical yards and really punish Baylor. So to me, I'm going to take a risk and say BYU is going to win the game. I think it's going to take 35 points. I think it's going to take at least 100 yards out of Tyler Algier.
100. If they're going to win and they're going to score 35, he better run for 150 to 180.
Well,
because 100 yards ain't going to get it done.
Well, here's why I think 100 is the number. If you can be over 100, anything over 100 is icing on the cake because this Baylor defense is going to be good. But I just think that when you're playing a good defense, if Tyler Algier can get to 100 yards in this game, that tells me that BYU's offensive line is doing work, which should theoretically mean that Jaren Hall is having a nice game, right? Because he's got protection, he has time, and he's making good decisions. So to me, I agree with you on the point total. I do think this is going to be a low 30s, really tight game. But to me, I like BYU like 35, 31, that kind of a game. That's if they're going to win it, that's what it's going to look like.
Yeah, I think there's two things. Baylor doesn't run the ball exceptionally well, but they run it well enough. They don't stop the run exceptionally well, but they stop the run well enough. And when you talk about keys to success like Tyler Algier, it's got to be with Jaren Hall. If Jaren Hall is not a threat to run the ball, Tyler Algier is going to have a very difficult day. Because Dave Aranda is a lot of things, but he is a defensive guru. And this is a guy who understands how to scheme.
Yes.
And if you want to beat BYU, you stop the run. You make Jaren Hall throw the ball, and you stop Tyler Algier from having a 150-yard day. That's going to be one of the defining stats in this game. And I think Tyler probably gets right to or just short of 150 yards. And I think they lose. I think if you're watching on TV Saturday, that's one of the stats you can look up. Does Tyler Algier break 150 yards? That's why we won. I wish I could say that he was going to. I don't think he will. I can't believe that Jaren Hall is 100%. There were all these reports that Jaren Hall's 100%. We were hearing that a week ago, the guy couldn't throw a football.
Yeah.
And that they did what they did to get him through the game against Boise, which was where you're not going to run at all, and you're going to throw the ball. Threw it for 300 yards. I'm telling you, this kid has to run for 60, 70 yards a game.
Yeah.
Or Tyler Algier is a far, far less effective weapon.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge factor here. My mind is Jaren Hall's not healthy, and I don't think he's going to run. I think he might be 70, 80%. He's not going to run. That's the thing that stands out to me. I'll be interested. Tomorrow at 1:30, I will have my eyes glued on the set.
Yep.
Because I think this is a season-defining game for BYU. I'm going to go 31-30 Baylor. Let's get some of your comments in here. Gabe Ledley, good morning to you. Brylark says, morning, boys. CJ says, morning, beating 3 P5 teams to start the season defined it. No, it didn't.
No, I don't think so, dude.
That is, and again, I understand you're a diehard BYU guy. The 3 wins that you had to start the season are meaningless. They mean nothing, especially now that you lost to Boise. Those wins are significantly less. You have 4 P5 teams right in front of you. And those are games that are going to this game tomorrow is going to define your season.
Yeah.
I mean, and then it's going to be Washington State, and then it's going to be Virginia, and then it's going to be USC, and on and on and on. And every week, that's the plight of an independent team. And it's great that you have the Idaho States of the world in there, but those games are tune-ups. Those games do not define seasons. Baylor on the road, when I think the last time BYU went to Baylor was 1983, and they lost the season opener. Baylor on the road's a big game, especially with Grimy there and that relationship.
Yep.
You know, with all due respect, I can't agree with that. Cody Strickland says, Eagles had a chance to win last night. Too bad that showboating is a real problem in the league. Number 58 caused them the game, in my opinion. Could be. Eric C. says, can't wait to see San Diego State ranked higher than BYU after this weekend. I don't know about that. San Diego State's a good, not great program. And
they're a nice little story every year. You know,
they are.
Like, it just, yeah.
They are. Daryl says BYU's score is either of the first 2 drives and the game is going their way. Well, that's going to be important. That is going to be important. You know, I think it is. I think one of those things, and we say it here on the Monty Show all the time. It's one of those things where perception is usually not reality, only it is to an AP voter.
Right.
Right? I mean, if BYU beats Baylor, they'll be back in the top 15.
Yeah.
If they lose, they're out of the top 25. That's the plight of being a BYU Cougar fan. That just is what it is. Greasy Hands Auto Sean Butterfield. Okay. Says, A-Rod said in his press conference that Jaren is 100%. There's no chance. How is Jaren Hall, who's had rib and shoulder issues, who could not run the football?
Legit.
Last weekend, have you ever seen Jaren Hall play that kind of football? How is he just miraculously 5 days later 100%? Come on. I think we all know better than that. Marty, you are Marty.
Hello.
Marty, you are spot on with your depth comment. Why have it if it's shelved?
I agree.
Who's Marty?
I don't know who Marty is.
Read the rest, Monty. We wouldn't have done that under Bronco or Kalani starting out. Right, but with all due respect, CJ, I just don't think Bronco or Kalani matter. Right? Old Kalani doesn't matter. It's 2021, and you are in the Big 12. Every game that you play is a proving ground. And the reality is BYU isn't here to go to the Pool and Weed Eater Bowl. They're here to play on in a New Year's Six Bowl.
Yeah.
So when you're a one-loss team and you've got 4 P5s right in front of you, what you did behind you doesn't matter. With all due respect, I mean, those are good wins. That's it. Arguably the greatest weekend in the history of BYU football was beating Utah after getting into the Big 12. I mean, it was a huge moment in time. But it's October 16th, and this is a huge day in Baylor.
Yeah.
At Baylor, rather, in Waco. You know, you've got to go and beat the ghost of David Koresh. And the Waco Wackos, and you got to do your job, right? Greasy Hand says, maybe Jake got too much chafing at USU. They need him smooth and healthy. Okay. Daryl says, could not run or told not to run. One of the two.
Either way, there's just there's no way he's 100%, dude. I like 80%. Okay, maybe I could kind of see that. Like, you know, you had 5 more days to heal and rest, and the body does great things. But you can't tell me that Jaren Hall right now, here today, when he's waking up this morning, feels as good as he did when the season started before the injury. There's no freaking way, dude.
But what else would you expect A-Rod to say?
Well, and that's the other side of it.
But I think there's nothing wrong with talking about your backup quarterback when your number one is consistently hurt and frankly is playing with 50% of his skill set. Now, if he rolls out in Waco on Saturday and he's running all over the field and throwing the ball effectively and BYU's winning, okay, great. I'm wrong. I'm an idiot. What do I know? I'm just a fan. I know nothing about BYU. I don't even watch Jazz games. Like, okay, I totally get that. Right? I totally get that. I hope that's the case. I highly doubt it. 31-30, I'm going to take Baylor to win. ASU at Utah, 8 p.m. ESPN.
Wait, there's a Pac-12 game that's actually on TV?
ASU at Utah, 8 p.m.
Wow.
on
Wow.
ESPN. Here's the thing, it's a pick 'em. 51's the number. Can Utah contain Jayden Daniels? Because my man, JD, the J Dizzle,
Right.
has been the for shizzle. I'll
Okay,
stop.
okay,
The point is,
okay.
Jayden Daniels has been very good. I think he has been better than advertised. Now, he doesn't weigh 100 pounds with a bunch of boulders in his pocket. But this kid can play. He's got sauce on his arm. This kid can run. He is effective out of the pocket. I like everything I've seen out of Jayden Daniels this year. The problem is, this is a wildly undisciplined Arizona State football team.
Yes.
They take way too many penalties. I think they had 79 false starts against BYU. I believe that's an all-time record. In one
Yeah,
game.
I think so.
But I think this is a team that averages 9 penalties a game.
Dude.
Can't do it. You can't come to you can't come to Sac Lake City in the middle of October and take 9 penalties and think you're going to walk out with a win.
Spinal.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. So my biggest question is, how good is this Utah defense? I think this is a legit question. Because when you look at what Utah is defensively, it's Devin Lloyd and some other dudes,
Yeah.
right? And everybody was obsessing about, oh, we beat SC and then we flew to the funeral, and should they have been at the funeral? It's not should they have been.
Yeah.
Thank you to the University of Utah for providing the assets and the funding to take that whole team to Aaron Lowe's funeral.
It's the right thing to do.
And now it's time to play football. And now it's time to continue to do what you started out this season to do, which is win the Pac-12 South. And you can take a nice giant leap toward that by beating ASU at Rice-Eccles Stadium on Saturday night. Now, having said that, who's your number 1 running back on this team? Now, having said that, who's your top receiving target on this team? Now, having said that, there are so many issues on this offense.
But for the offense,
Yes.
here's where I think they can find a silver lining, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
You go to SC and you dominate them, right? You have a hell of a night.
Yep.
And I think the cool thing for this team, and really what the Aaron Lowe situation did for this team, in my opinion, is it just brought everybody together. So I don't think that Kyle Whittingham and that offense are sitting here saying, we need a number 1 here, we need a number 1 there. I think the mentality of the team across the board is we're trying to win football games, and we don't really care who gets the job done, but the job's got to get done.
Yes, it does.
And I think the only guy that has a number 1, number 1 QB1 next to his name is Cam Rising. That's the only guy on the team who you really care about, because you have to have a number 1 quarterback, obviously. So to me, with the offense, all I'm looking for is cohesiveness, smoothness, right? Efficiency.
Smooth.
I want them to operate at a high level against this ASU defense, because frankly, this is not a defense that they should have a ton of trouble with. Yes, ASU can play. Of course they can. But when I look at what BYU did to ASU, I'm like, okay, cool. Like if Cam Rising and that offense can continue to get the deep ball down the field, they're going to be in good shape. And that's really what led to their success. Like, as much as we talk about, like, Baylor going deep on BYU, it's the same concept with Utah against ASU, right? If the defense has to respect the deep ball, the running back by committee thing isn't a problem, because you're going to have room to run. And that's what I think you got to do in this game. Just pick up right where you left off from SC. That's it. And if you do that, you're winning this game.
Yeah, I also think, by the way, that Utah's not beating itself. They're getting decent line play. I thought the SC game was the best I've seen this Utah offensive line look by far in probably the last millennium. They got really good line play against SC. That's got to continue, because the defense at Arizona State is pretty capable. The defense is physical. They're able to get after you. Their line plays very well up front. So it's going to be another test for this Utah offensive line. And I actually think they're going to pass that test. The bigger question will be, can you replicate the running offense, the rushing yards that you got against what turned out to be a very undisciplined USC defensive front, which I think going into that game, we knew they had a tendency to do that. But I don't even care. I want Tavion Thomas to have that same kind of game against Arizona State because I know I've obsessed over him. You know, Tavion is the guy that I've said should be their number one back all season, but you can't put the ball on the ground. And what did I just say? This Utah team doesn't beat itself.
Right.
Unless you're turning the ball over and putting it on the ground. Right. And Tavion's had a propensity to do that at times. But you have three backs. And the other thing I thought was really critical for Utah beating SC was Cam Rising getting out of the pocket a little bit.
Yeah.
Being mobile. Having that threat is so important today with as athletic as linebackers and D linemen are at the P5 level. You have to have a quarterback that can move, that can run. You have to keep those linebackers at least on one heel. Because if they're running downhill at you, and this is very much how BYU plays defense, they run downhill at you because they keep everything in front of you. When you have a mobile quarterback, it doesn't allow you to be so comfortable doing that. Because if you're just backpedaling to keep everything in front of you, that creates more space behind the linebacker. And if the linebacker has to be a little slower, a little more cautious, because he's got one corner of his eye in the backfield on the running quarterback, you see what I mean? It loosens things up a little bit. Cam Rising's ability to be mobile, I don't need him to run for 100 yards. Hell, I don't even need a guy to run for 50 yards. I think if he can just give you 35, 40 yards a game on the ground, you're going to dominate offensively. That's going to help you exponentially. Because with the offensive line issues that we've seen at Utah, if Cam Rising takes the opportunity to use that offensive line, if a guy turns into a turnstile, run right where that problem came from. It's the easiest way to beat a blitz is to attack where the blitzing player is coming from. So to me, Cam's got to be really smart, and he has to understand. They all know where the weaknesses on that line are. So if you're able to exploit that and turn that weakness into a strength, all of a sudden Utah becomes a far more effective offense. And I think we're seeing a little bit of that. Having said that, I think, guys like Pledger and guys like Micah Bernard, and they're all going to play a role in this game. Yeah. Every one of them is going to get multiple carries. And then again, I go back to the 306 yards that we saw Cam Rising throw for against SC. Who's the football going to? Because one of the things that we've seen on this team is that Theo Howard has had opportunities, and now he finally took that opportunity against SC. My feeling is he probably should be your number one wide receiver. But Dalton Kincaid, is, in my opinion, your most effective receiving option. I think Brant Keithy is a wildly talented tight end, but there's some inconsistency there that drives you crazy. But Dalton Kincaid has been remarkably consistent, and he clearly has chemistry with Cam Rising. So it'll be interesting to see as you continue to rank, push up the rankings in the Pac-12, and you continue to work through this schedule, who is that receiving option that really steps forward for the Utah Utes? My guess is it continues to be Kincaid, but I think the coaches would really love Theo Howard to become a consistent threat.
Yeah.
Because he has big playability. He has run after the catchability, and I think that's been missing from their offense.
Yeah, and I think that's what separates an average offense from a great offense, and this is kind of what I'm going to be looking for, in the BYU game and the Utah game. And really anytime you're watching a football game, ball placement out of the quarterback is crucial, because if the ball is behind the receiver or in a difficult spot to catch it, that's not giving them an opportunity to run after the catch, which is ultimately what really can break the back of a defense. When you can hit a guy in stride and he can run for another 25 yards before the safety gets there, that's going to be huge. And I think that Cam did a great job of that against SC. And I just really believe that this team is just like, hey man, we're on a mission. We are absolutely on a mission. We lost a game against BYU that we didn't appreciate, and now we have a point to prove. So I fully expect them to win this game without a doubt.
And then there's the performance that Drake London left on the Utah defense. Now he's a hell of a receiver. I mean, he's clearly SC's best receiver, but 16 for 162.
Mm-hmm.
That's not very Utah defense-like, is it? And that's another question. How good is this defense? What's the identity of this defense? Well, Devin Lloyd's clearly your big name, right? That's the guy.
Yeah, he's your leader.
But I think one of the things that you see so clearly when you look at the numbers and you see Micah Tafua getting after the quarterback, and this team is capable of pressuring the quarterback, but they haven't at the level that you would like to see it happening. You need a Nate Orchard. You need a guy, that can really get around the corner. You need a guy that can really be a difference maker who the other offense has to account for. Who is that guy up front? And furthermore, in totality, has this defense been what you hoped? I actually think corner play has been better than I thought it would be. I think we worried a little bit about the secondary on the Utah defense. Now, again, I'm saying it's been better than I thought it would be right after I said Drake London torched you for 160-plus yards.
Right.
But this is, again, not the same Utah football team we thought we were getting. There has just been that lack of it factor, and it's pervasive on this defense.
Yeah.
And so I'll be interested to see, because this isn't Keaton Slovis. This isn't as mediocre as Keaton Slovis is. It's as dominant as Jayden Daniels is, because this kid's a difference maker. This kid is that it factor. I think it comes down to penalties and turnovers, as it usually does. I'm not reinventing the wheel here.
Right.
But ASU routinely shoots their feet off week in and week out. We saw it certainly. They kept UCLA in the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's what killed them against BYU.
Well, and I think that's kind of the point I was going to make, which is we've seen, as good as Jayden Daniels is, we've seen he's prone to a mistake when you force it out of him, right? So like the UCLA defense forced turnovers, right, by pressuring him, and he's that guy that has a big arm and thinks that he can overcome defenses with his arm strength, which I love about him. I'd rather him think that than not, but at the same time, if you're this Utah defense, you're thinking, okay, let's get some pressure early in this one, because, by the way, it's not as though it's going to be 70 and sunny at Rice Eccles, right? It's going to be a colder one, right? This is going to be the environment is going to come into play, and I think when you're ASU and you're on the road, you're going to come into a packed Rice Eccles Stadium. I don't think anybody doubts that. That is going to be a loud, tough environment for them. So think about it. Remember what happened at BYU, right? They had all those penalties because of the crowd noise. So I think about that, number one. Number two, I think about the turnovers that I've seen Jayden Daniels throw throughout the season. Typically, he's pretty disciplined when he's not pressured.
Right.
But when you pressure him, you can force him into mistakes. So I'm going to be looking for the Utah defense to bring pressure and try to force a mistake out of him and get a couple extra possessions for Cam and the boys. And then thirdly, I just think overall Utah needs to once again replicate the performance from last week against SC. Don't turn the football over. Execute on offense. Like play a clean game. And I just truly believe if they do that, I don't see them losing this game.
Keep Jayden Daniels under 200 yards passing. Keep him under 50 yards rushing, and you have a real chance to win this game. Because the thing that worries you about the ASU offense is how balanced they tend to be. Ricky Pearsall is just as good as Drake London. And if Pearsall's getting loose on you, again, I just go back to his 150 whatever yard game against UCLA.
Yep.
But I mean, he also had two catches and 17 yards against Stanford.
So what is that telling us?
He can be schemed.
Yes.
And he can be handled. But they have legit, like Bunkley Shelton's another guy that I think creates a problem for Utah. But they have legit 4 wide receivers on this ASU offense that'll beat you. Ricky Pearsall is the safety net for Jayden Daniels.
And see, so that dynamic is exactly what I'm talking about. This ASU offense has power. They do. They have over-the-top speed. They've got, great wide receiver
and they can run
talent.
the ball, too.
Yeah, and so to me...
Rashad White's a stud.
Yeah, and so to me, I'm just saying, okay, if you're Utah, This is a home game for us, and we need to prove that we can stop a dynamic offense. Well, how do you do that? It starts with stopping the run. Obviously, early in the game, you got to stop the run. But then I really do believe that pressuring Jayden Daniels is the key to winning this game.
Yes.
Because if you can pressure him, that A is going to limit how many deep shots they take at a minimum, right? But then B, I just think that if you're Utah, you got to have the turnover in this game. You got to create that momentum shifting play, because if you don't do that, they're going to come in here, they're going to run the football, they're going to throw it deep over the top on you, and all of a sudden you're down 10 points, 15 points before you even notice.
I think the hardest part here is you're going to have to be disciplined with Jayden Daniels, because if you come too forcefully, that came out wrong. If you attack the pocket to
Kick it, we'll
what
float.
I have meant to say was, if you are too aggressive in your pass rush, he will run on you. So it's going to take very, very disciplined pass rush to beat him. And I think you gotta have a defensive performance here. I mean, not only do you have to, I think tackle for loss is a huge stat in this game.
Yeah. TFLs.
Yeah, you got to be in the backfield, but you have to keep them from running for more than 200 yards on you. You do. Because that's a team that when they're running the ball effectively, Jayden Daniels is gonna burn you down.
You're in trouble.
He's gonna burn you down. They just have too much talent. Eclectic Redhead, good morning to you. The win against USC was in part due to being fired up and emotional with everything they had been through, and how much of that carries through. Utah doesn't quite seem to know its identity just yet. I agree with that.
100%.
I don't think Utah knows who they are. CJ is ranting about something. He says, go look at the first couple of series. It was balanced, and we moved down the field easily. When the fumble started, it's when we went away from it. They hold the ball. We stay balanced. I'm not worried about turnovers for BYU. I'm really not.
Yeah.
I just am. I'm not.
Yeah.
I think that BYU is a sound fundamental football team. Jeremy Bolton, what's up? Good morning, too. He says the way to beat ASU is to throw it in an INT, let them run it back 60 yards, then strip the ball and get it back. Yeah, well, that seemed to be an effective formula for BYU. That's crazy. Mikoli.
Who the fuck are you?
Says, I thought this was a BYU show. Why are you talking Utah? And then he went on to drop an F-bomb, so his comment got filtered.
Okay.
But see, a lot of people ask us about this. Well, you guys are a BYU show.
We're not actually.
We're not actually a BYU show. Well, you're fan. Well, we're not actually not fans. We talk a lot of BYU. We talk a lot of Pac-12. We talk a lot of Utah. I think it's hard not to talk about either one of those teams in this town. But as far as ASU and Utah go, I think I'm actually going to take the Utes to win this game. I have a hard time going against Utah at home.
Yeah.
It's going to be chilly. I think that place is going to be lit. I mean, the tailgate before the game, again,
dude.
In the Guardsman lot before the game, BYU and Utah fans are getting together to honor Ty Jordan and Aaron Lowe. It's going to be great. Bam Bam's Barbecue will be there with the Utah Pig Bus. I mean, it is everything you want in football in Salt Lake City and really in the state of Utah. I think there's going to be a lot of emotion in those seats, and I think it's going to wreak havoc on ASU. And I think this is going to be a critical night for the Utah defense to really make a statement that Kyle Whittingham's not on the way out. He's still here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm going to take the Utes to win 26-24. Turnovers will define the game. Penalties will define the game. And my guy, Tavion Thomas, is going to run all over ASU.
27-17, 10-point win for Utah.
Get out of here. What are you talking about?
Okay. Call me an idiot. It's fine.
It's not, it's not Arizona. This is Arizona State.
Right. And they're going to turn the football over. They're not going to score 25 points in this game. Like, they're not. Okay, call me stupid. Fine. Call me
What do you
stupid.
want to bet on this game?
I'm not betting anything. I'm not a gambler. I'm not. I hate gambling.
Me and you right now. What do you want to bet?
I'm not betting anything.
Roost Chris dinner.
No.
Come on.
Nope.
Nothing?
Nope. Nothing.
Why?
Because.
Guy gets laid one time and he thinks he's like the
It's
god.
like 4 times, but it's fine.
Same thing. Listen, I don't think there's any chance that this game finishes 27-17.
Okay.
I think these two teams are very close. Very, very close.
We'll see.
Drop your score predictions for both BYU and Utah. So, again, to reset on BYU, I'm taking Baylor 31-30 over BYU. You have what?
35-31 BYU.
Wow. I am taking the Utes to win 26-24. You're taking them to win 52-10.
Yeah. That's what I said.
So that's
exactly what I said. Verbatim. Word for word.
27-17.
Yep.
Man. By the way, one quick question. When did you start smoking crack in the morning?
It's something that I've been working
Because
through, and
I'll note that Jake's got a shake over there. Ghost Protein. Amazing. Check the link in our description.
Right.
I've got Ghost Protein and my creatine over here, and I'm 3/4 of the way done. You've got your protein, and you haven't even taken a sip.
Yeah, I haven't. We've been doing a talk show.
Well, it is what it is.
Crack, ice,
Boom, pow. Yeah, by the way, my dog is going to the vet right now. It's ass vacuum time.
Dude.
That's my... I don't want to talk about it. We'll update it on Monday. I don't want to talk about it. I really don't. Barfing
please
chickens.
respect my privacy. Next question.
Yeah, thanks. Teddy Wayman says 30-17 Utes. Do you guys buy from the same dealer? Barfing Chicken says 34-31 BYU. Tanner Plummer says ASU 28, Utah 21. Jeremy Bolton says Utah 28, ASU 25, BYU 30, Baylor 27.
Yeah.
BYU fan CJ says BYU 35, Baylor 21. Guy, come on. Come on. Come on. Brylark says 27-24 Baylor. Cam Harrison says BYU still 3-0 in the Pac-12, LOL. Wow. Wow. Monty, learn from Jake. He did predict the Clippers to win Game 6 versus the Jazz.
Just saying.
Cody, that's a good point.
I'm a man.
Kay Newren says, I love BYU, but just win, baby. BYU 20, Baylor 17. That's a very realistic score. 20-17 is a very realistic score. The Eclectic Redhead, who doesn't want to meet us and will not be coming to the tailgate tomorrow because
that's unfortunate.
She has other things to do.
Yeah, I mean,
Says the Utes 24, ASU 21. She has kids and family and stuff.
Excuses.
Yeah, she's got excuses.
Whatever.
The Eclectic Redhead says Utes 24, ASU 21. Finlinson, what's up, Casey? Good to see you, buddy. He says 31-28 ASU, 28-21 BYU. Jeremy Bolton says Jake 1, teacher none.
Yep.
Actually, it's Jake 2, teacher none. Spencer Morgan says people think you're a BYU show because every video graphic is BYU. Well, no, the ones that are we did Utah, we've done some Jazz. It just depends on what's going on, man. James Knight says, how did the 5-toe earring look on the teach, Jake, you stud?
Bro.
I think that's HIPAA.
Tanner Plummer says teacher 30, Jake none.
Yeah, next question.
Barfing Chicken says this will either be a super high scoring game, in my opinion. I think you're probably right. CJ says 31-24 ASU over Utah. The Eclectic Redhead says BYU 30, Baylor 27. Everybody's picking a very close game.
Telling you, BYU's going to come up clutch.
Barfing Chicken says Baylor and BYU's offense are both super good. Yeah. Jose Luis BG says, nice to hear you guys live. Haven't been able to do it because of work. Good to see you, Jose.
Yeah, good to see you, bro.
Appreciate you being here.
Yeah. Well done.
Let's get some National Football League in here.
Okay.
Because we got to do some locks, and then we have to talk about Jake and the teacher.
Okay.
Packers at Baylor. You going to play the locks music or what?
I'm just waiting for you to throw
Monty and Jake
to
are
it.
giving you their
Well,
locks
let's
for
go.
college and NFL football, plus the inside info you need to know to make the right call. Now, let's get you the locks. Here's Monty.
Before we do that, I'm going to chug the rest of the shake, and you haven't even taken a sip yet.
Okay. Okay, live odds. The fact that he chokes on his shake here. Wow, you're a pro. Not your first time, huh? Wow.
Nope. Not my first time.
Wow.
Not my first time chugging it.
Bro.
Just swallow it, baby.
Stop.
Packers at the Bears, who still play in Chicago.
Not Arlington Park with the horses.
This kid just won't let that go. Packers at Bears. Packers are a 5.5-point favorite. The number's 47. I hate the Green Bay Packers. I hate the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
Thank you. Tanner says that burp was pathetic. Jeremy Bolton says pounding things like father, like son. Taught him everything he doesn't know. The Packers are going to win this game. Let's be honest. But you know what I'm hoping for. What am I hoping for?
Aaron Rodgers breaking his leg and
That's
the Bears
exactly
winning the
right.
game.
Let's go, Khalil Mack. Take Aaron Rodgers for a ride and snap that twig, you son of a biscuit. This feels like a big Packers win. I hate the Bears' offensive line. I hate it. I hate everything about it. They poured beer on Max Hall's mom on that Packer defense. So Packers 31, Bears 24. I think it's a win cover over.
Yeah, I have to agree. Packers are going to score at least 30 points in this game.
Yeah.
So I'm in that same boat.
The number in this game is 47. You're telling me you don't believe
Okay,
Justin
that's
Fields?
major shade.
Yeah, that's major shade at the Chicago Bears. Yeah, not good. I'm going to take the Packers to win that. I love this game right here. My guy, I bought the ring, by the way. I don't know if I told you guys this. I went diamond shopping the other day.
Right.
And I bought a ring, and I'm going to propose to Justin Herbert.
Really?
Yes, I've made the decision that Justin Herbert will be my significant, my soulmate.
Is he aware of this?
He has no idea I'm even alive.
Wow, so that's going to be a great moment.
That's my dude right there. My God. Chargers at Ravens. The Ravens are a 2.5-point dog. That's very disrespectful to my guy. The number's 51.5. I think the Ravens are going to win this game because I think people are questioning Lamar Jackson's ability, and he showed us something last week, and I never thought that I would say this. Lamar Jackson showed us that he can throw the football from the pocket.
Yeah. I mean,
win the game.
Here's what I know, though. I know that no matter what kind of game the Chargers are in, whether they're behind, whether they're ahead, whether they're battling you possession by possession, they're executing at a really, really high level. And I think they're not scared to go on the road. We just saw them go on the road and beat what was the best team in the AFC. So, yes, the Lamar Jackson factor is real, but I would have no problem picking the Chargers to go on the road and beat this team.
By the way,
What?
I shouldn't even read this. Jeremy Bolton says, is Nick's Chubb going to officiate your wedding, Monty? Rylark says, classic Utah, Monty. You're taking on a second wife.
Wow. Dude, you guys are amazing.
Why, yes, I am. Why, yes, I am.
Wow.
Plural marriage, baby. The Ravens are going to win this game. And I think it's somewhere probably on the order of 27-24. But here's the problem. If it's under a touchdown, I think the Chargers are going to win. Because my guy, Justin Herbert, is turning into this clutch quarterback who loves the moment.
Yes, he does. And so we disagree on this game. I picked the Chargers on Monday in our little pool pick'em thing, and I'm picking them now. I think the Chargers are going on the road.
I don't think I did my picks.
I think they're going to go on the road. I think they're going to win this game, and I think they're going to put up 35 points doing it. And I think Austin Eckler is going to have a big-time week.
Cowboys, Patriots on the road in Foxborough. You want to know how much times in the National Football League have changed? How about the Dallas MFing Cowboys being 3-point road favorites at New England? The number's 50.5. And I think that's not nearly enough because the Cowboys are going to go berserk on what has been a pretty mediocre Patriots defense.
Yeah.
And I actually love the way that Dallas defense is playing, Jake. I got the Cowboys all day. How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, all day, bro. I struggle with the idea of 35 points against a Bill Belichick defense, but I really like the 27 to 30 point range for the Cowboys in this game, and I think that Diggs is going to continue to get interceptions in this game, and I think that's ultimately what's going to lead to the victory.
31-20, Cowboys over the Patriots.
Yeah.
And now in the COVID game.
Dude.
Do you hear what's going on with the Arizona Cardinals?
This is the last thing that they need.
So it started with Chandler Jones testing positive. Okay, we're fine. One guy.
It's no big deal.
It's no big deal.
What's the big deal?
More cannoli. And now it's blown up into 3 and possibly 4 positives.
Dude.
If they get one more positive test in the staff or on the players, they have to ratchet up their COVID protocols. And now they got to get back into contact tracing. And if you had contact, either vaccinated or not, you have to test and likely quarantine.
Yeah.
This is a big deal. The Arizona Cardinals are the best team in the National Football League right now. Their defense is playing like it. Little Kyler verticality is playing at an MVP level. This would be a tragedy if they had a COVID outbreak and it knocked their season off the rails.
Yeah, we'll see. I think they're a really good team, and I think I'm still going to pick them, to be clear. I'm still going to pick them in this game.
Really?
Yeah, well, and it's because of how dynamic they are. I think that you're playing the Browns. You're going against a team that is like a try-hard team. I love Baker Mayfield. I'm a big Baker Mayfield guy.
I woke up feeling dangerous.
Yeah, but the fact is Baker's still got a lot left to prove, and I think at the end of the day, I know what Kyler Murray is. I know he can make all the throws. I know he can make all the plays, and that's why I'm going to continue to take them.
Well, they lost Jack Conklin on the offensive line in Cleveland. I think Baker's played very mediocre football. Odell Beckham Jr. still not that same guy. Juice isn't playing right now. I don't know how you don't take the Arizona Cardinals in this game. Where we are right now, I don't know how you don't take the Arizona Cardinals to win that game. Although I will say, it is all dependent on that Cleveland Browns front seven. I mean, Myles Garrett has been a stud. But Jadeveon Clowney's hurt, and he's missed a lot of reps the last couple of weeks to injury. And if he plays, I think it becomes a much more difficult task to keep Kyler Murray upright and throwing from the pocket where he's flourished. I think this is going to be a very close game. I mean, to have this be a 49.5 point number.
Yeah, well, I think what that's saying is they're just not respecting the defenses in this game, which I think is a mistake. I think both of these defenses can play. But look, at the end of the day, you have a lot of star power quarterback. I agree. Baker Mayfield has played mediocre football. However, that doesn't mean that he can't have big plays in this game.
Well, your boy Byron Murphy's got to play, and if he's not, I don't know that Antonio Hamilton, who else is that crew? Robert Alford, rather.
Yep.
Jace Whitaker. I mean, those guys have all stepped up. I mean, Antonio Hamilton, he's a practice squad guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think you still got to take the Cardinals to win the game outright. I mean, the Browns are a 3.5 point favorite, so it's essentially a pick 'em.
Yeah. Cardinals. Take them.
I think you got to take the Cardinals there.
Yeah. Take
them.
them.
Really do.
Take them.
My goodness, where are we at here? Good job on the comments. They appreciate you guys very much. Please, if you're here, give us a thumbs up. Hit subscribe. Tag us in a photo that you're subscribed. And when we get to 3,000 subscribers, which is about 400 away from that, subs, we're going to give away this Xbox right there. It'll be fine. Jeremy Bolton says, if Lamar Jackson can continue to throw like he did last week, dang, he's going to be more dangerous. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's the next evolution in his game.
CJ says FLDS would love Monty. They would. Tanner says screw the Cowboys. Barfing Chicken says Cowboys take a dump on the Pats. Okay. That's one way to describe it.
And when I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
Cowboys going to run through the Pats, Brylark says.
Yeah.
Barfing Chicken says like 40-17 Cowboys.
Damn.
Tanner Plummer says Monty could be Warren Jeff's replacement. Well, when you wear a size 15 shoe, you know what they say, man.
Yeah, I know what time it is.
Got to have big socks, too. Teddy Wayman says 31-28 Patriots. Ooh, so you like a close game, Teddy. All right. Kay Nurin says Jets did not lose this week. It's a bye week. Did you see Zach Wilson hit his lineman in the back of the helmet?
Yeah, trying to throw it to the back.
I hate rookies.
Yeah.
I hate rookies. He's going to be really good.
Yeah.
I hate rookies.
It is the curse of the Jets, dude. The Jets are just not good at footballing.
Just make sure they like the Bears, and he's golden. Exactly right. Brylark says 45-35 Arizona. Wow. That'd be convincing. Yeah, you know what? Like, the thing is, the Cardinals are capable of that every week.
Yes.
Every week, they're capable of that. Barfing Chicken says, if any team could lose during a bye week, it's the Jets. They're very capable of losing during
Very
a bye
much
week.
so.
Oh, Tanner, stop. Tanner, 50-14 Arizona.
And kick a person when he's down.
Jeremy Bolton says, nailed it, Barfing Chickens. Giggity says, Kyler Murray might be a little banged up, too. He's always banged up because he's like 3 feet
tiny,
tall.
Dude.
The guy weighs like 31 pounds, and that's only
man.
if he's got shoes on.
Yeah, bro. Have some pasta.
You know what I'm saying? Real quick replay in baseball.
Yeah.
So the Dodgers won last night. They're going to the NLCS.
Yeah.
To take on the Braves of Atlanta. But they won on a controversial check swing. Now, frankly, it was Wilmer Flores, so fuck him, right? I mean, that came out wrong. Wilmer Flores ain't getting the benefit of the doubt.
No.
He is the last out of a penultimate game 5 where Max Scherzer throws an incredible slider low and away. I mean, it's one of the best sliders he's probably thrown all season. Wilmer Flores did not swing at that pitch. The game should not have ended on that pitch. It's one of the most difficult calls in baseball because it happens in an instant and you don't get replay on it. Do you think they should replay check swings?
Yeah, I do. I think they should have a system in place. I think, you got to have, like, you're Major League Baseball, man. You got to have the ability to review, significant calls like that. Like, I agree that balls and strikes should not be reviewable at all on any level. That's part of the game.
Yep.
But a check swing, like, come on, dude. That there has to be. The issue with the check swing thing is there's no defined, like, was that a swing or was that not a swing line on home plate, right? So, like, you can't put a camera, like, somehow rig a camera to shoot right down on home plate and definitively say, did he swing, did the bat cross the line or not? Like you can in soccer or the NHL or football at the goal line.
Football, please.
Right? You can't do that in baseball. So my issue just simply is, like, you should be able to review that when it's so blatant that he didn't swing. It wasn't even close.
Yeah, but then who determines blatant? And here's the other thing that I think so many people struggle with. A check swing is not defined. There's no definition of what a strike or a ball or swung or not swung is. So you can review it, but who's ultimately going to make that decision? And it's not going to be definitive. So I think it makes it very difficult. He didn't swing. The Dodgers, here's the problem, though. The Dodgers are there again.
Yeah, and they're assholes about it, too.
And I hate the Dodgers.
Yeah.
By the way, real quick, I know you don't ever buy stocks.
Right.
My guy, are you kidding me? I bought a stock with the symbol ONPH. I bought it last week at $8.37.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's over 14 today.
That's cool.
Just saying. Uncle Timmy knows a little bit about banging chicks and buying stocks.
Pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Just thought I'd throw that out there. Like I threw it. No, never mind.
Don't. Like, come on, dude.
All right, let's talk about non-sports related things. We're going to the movies today.
Mm-hmm. Tonight.
Today. We're later today. After we go see our guy Jay over in Daybreak to get a nice little clip, we're going to go and see the Bond film.
Bond.
James Bond. Speaking of Pound and Box.
007.
Is it too soon to go back to the movies?
Nah. I think it's fine.
The Centers for Disease Control, otherwise known as Screw You,
I think that's HIPAA.
it says that it's safe if you're fully vaccinated to go to an indoor theater. This is the first movie we've been to
in a long time
since the pandemic started. Now, we used to, as though we were donating to a charity, we would go to the movies every week, like pretty much every Friday night. We would go to the movies. We haven't been in over several years, several years. So we're going back to see Bond on IMAX tonight.
Yeah, dude.
I'm excited about
You
it.
should be excited. I'm excited. It's going to be fire. It's going to be Aston Martin's on the TV.
Tanner says, Uncle Timmy, from now on, I'm calling you that. Jake, you're significantly lighter today. Have you lost a few pounds?
I'm significantly lighter? Like thinner?
He's actually gained 3 pounds. And this is why I hate you. I'm the one who's lost a bunch of weight. This fat ass over here has gained like 3 pounds. And you're like, oh, look how thin Jake looks.
Fat. Fat.
James Knight, you are so hateful.
Fat.
We've actually done quite well weight-wise.
Yeah,
Anyway, wait, hang on.
Yeah, okay, yeah, movies.
Are you excited about the movie
I am.
tonight?
I want a couple of things. Number one, I want IMAX. We're getting IMAX. Number two, I want my Mike and Ike's and Reese's Pieces in a bag, mixed up, the whole movie. Let's go. No, like, that has to happen. Because that hasn't happened in
2 years at least.
2 years, bro. So I want it. And then, after that, I want a good Bond movie. I don't want the last Bond movie to suck.
People like it.
Yeah.
People really like
I
it.
want fast cars. I want it all, man.
Oh, my bad. James Knight says I was referring to lighter, like less body fluid after last night.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
By the way, what are we doing before the movie?
Going to get a haircut and going to look at houses. Because yesterday I got a call. Hey, your lease is almost up.
Honey.
How much do you want to pay us for a 1-bedroom? Oh, well, I'm not really wanting to do a 6-month lease with you guys. I would love, to be month to month and, just kind of, just do that setup. Yeah, well, see, that's going to be like $1,600 a month for a 1-bedroom. And right then and there, I was like, I got a problem with that. I have a major problem with that.
You should. You should be buying. You make really good money. Not as much as me because I'm better at our job than you are.
Right.
And I'm better looking.
Right.
Good. You make stupid money. You should buy a place.
Yeah.
And in the next 6 months, the market's got to go up.
Yeah.
And where you want to spend, because you'd like to be around 400,000.
Somewhere between 350 and 400.
Would be ideal.
Closer to it's probably going to be 360ish. That's where I'd really like to be. That makes the numbers super comfy.
So what is the teacher looking for in a house?
I don't know because we're not there yet.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
you always got to rush it.
I'm just
we're slow cooking this thing,
Clearly. So you're looking at buying this townhouse today?
Yeah, I'm looking at buying this townhouse. Our realtor sent me a couple other ones. There's one in Harriman that's an N unit, but that's a bit far. It's not far.
I'm not a fan of Harriman.
Yeah, it's a different vibe. I really like Daybreak.
I don't know why you would move out of Daybreak.
Yeah, well, I'm not trying to move out of Daybreak. He had just sent me a couple other properties that he was able to find. So,
yeah, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I'm excited. We'll go look at it. It does. It's a nice little place. It's only got a 1-car garage, which I don't love, but it is what it is.
Isn't that what you have now?
It is what I have now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I really would love to have 2-car garage because it's me, and that would provide a lot of storage space. But honestly, because it's me, I don't need storage space. So I'm thinking about this, and this is the other thing I'm considering. Okay, this is a 3-bedroom townhouse, right? So that means I've got my bedroom, obviously. Then I've got a shoe room, because obviously, what do you do with the other room? Nothing. You just, I guess, storage. I guess.
Make it a closet room.
So, and this is what I think about, and I know this sounds kind of dumb, right?
Make it a guest room.
But I don't have the wife and kids and all that. So
but
a 3-bedroom, I'm going to.
At some point, you and whatever his or her name winds up being
You're
are going to
such
move.
an ass.
Why? You guys
please respect my privacy.
Yeah.
Next question.
You guys will wind up moving in together at some point, right? I would think. Yeah, you're going to have a dog, right?
I really want a dog, dude.
Yeah. Well, you're also going to have HOAs, so get ready for that.
Yeah, it's about $200 a month.
Yeah. We upgraded for our theater room in our home with a home over the pandemic with a nice 86-inch Sony TV.
Fire,
amazing
dude.
sound, and I love watching movies and sports from home.
Fire, bro.
Yeah, I'm not so comfortable. I'm too conservative.
That's what I could do. That's a great point. I didn't even think about that. Have
like
a
a TV
baller
viewing room?
office setup. Baller office setup.
Well, yeah,
That's
of course
fire,
you're going
dude.
to have an office set up.
Yeah, no, but I mean like right now my office is in my living room. You know, now I could actually have like an office.
Yeah.
If I did this.
Get that white picket fence yard for the dog and the little Jakes.
Yeah.
Giggity says.
Little Jakes.
Jeremy Bolton says, eclectic redhead, that's awesome. Heck, with going to the movies anymore, that would be amazing. Cody Strickland says, slow cooking this thing, huh, Jake? Like 9 months cooking a thing? Oh, wow.
Bro, why would you say that, dude?
Cody
why
Strickland
would you
also
go
says, what about a gaming room for the third room? Third room is a classroom so the teacher can teach you a few things. Wow.
I'm going to do that.
Brylark, my man. Kay Nurin says, man cave. Jose Luis BG says, good advice on a newborn yesterday, Monty. My first kid is going to be born in 2 to 3 weeks. Oh, wow.
Nice, dude. Man, we got a lot of procreation, activity happening on this show lately.
Sex machine.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why, but I can't get that Marvin Gaye song out of my head when I look at Jake. Sexual healings.
Okay.
Oh, my wife is back from the vet. Yeah, let's get it on. Yeah. So my wife just dropped the dog off at the ass vacuumer.
Okay, quick question. This is unplanned. Are vests cool? Are vests where it's at for the winter?
I love
are
vests.
vests like the
I
thing?
love vests. I just can't find any that I really like.
Yeah.
I have one.
Okay.
I have a Nike vest that's outstanding.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love wearing a vest. I think it's the perfect, keeps your core warm, but your arms are out, so you can show your guns.
You can aggressively unzip your vest.
You can show your guns and stuff.
Yeah, your guns, right. Smith & Wesson, we get it.
Eric says, you guys seriously have lost weight. Yeah, like we're making the effort. It's so funny. It's just impossible to ever be satisfied.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the scale, to be honest with you. I'm more about like how the clothes are fitting, what the look is like, that kind of a thing.
I think you have to weigh yourself.
Yeah, I mean you do, but at the same time, like the other day, like the scale saying I gained 3 pounds, even though the day before I was, and I hadn't changed or eaten anything horribly or done anything that would make me gain 3 pounds. Like it just is what it is, man. So. Yeah, so it's like, you just have to, Yeah,
I weigh myself every day at the gym, and I need the validation. I really have significantly changed what I'm doing. Like, the way that I eat now, like it's easy for me. Like I just have changed so much of what I'm doing, and I've seen such good results. That it just, I'm lucky. It's really easy for me. Like, you still have not taken a sip of that shake.
No, I haven't, dude.
I'm very much a creature of habit.
Yeah, I haven't.
I drink my shake first in the morning. I take my vitamins right after I get out of the shower. I drink 20 ounces of water. Like, I'm off and running. Like, I get up at the same time. I generally go to bed at the same time. I wear the same thing pretty much every day. I only own black T-shirts. I don't own another color T-shirt. Like, I'm very much a creature of habit and process.
Right.
And so nutrition and fitness, once I get a process locked in that works, I'm able to really stick to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's where we're at now, and it's made a big difference. By the way, I pushed off my colonoscopy until January.
Oh, okay.
I
made you do that?
Because you know what? A colonoscopy a week and a half before you go to Hawaii is probably not ideal.
Yeah, it's not great, dude.
You know what? So I decided to push it off until after the holiday.
Yeah, and I think you'll be fine.
So
I think you'll be fine.
And I'm still nervous. I don't want anesthesia. I don't want it. It's not what I'm trying to do. James Knight says, spot on, Jake. The fitting of your clothes is more accurately a guide, or a more accurate guide.
Yeah.
So I bought a snowboarding jacket.
Bro,
and it was awesome.
Yeah.
That it fit perfectly. Like and that's the fun thing about getting in better shape, putting on clothes you haven't worn in a while, and everything fits great.
Yeah.
Like so it's working. Only problem is international shipping.
Wait, what are we talking about here?
Okay, wait. Jose Luis BG says, I'll definitely get the baby something from Monty's baby clothes collection. Yeah, we're trying.
By the way, anybody see those baby Jordan 4s up there on the shelf?
Yep, Jake's getting ready to use them. Tanner Plummer says, Uncle Timmy, since you only own black T-shirts, are you considered goth?
No, he's not considered
I'm not
goth.
considered goth.
He is considered, I don't know what you're
Although I do wear eyeshadow every day.
Okay.
So what's going on with the teacher here, kid?
No, things are good with the teacher, man. She did start listening to the show. She did.
Fuck, here we go.
And I have to say she handled it really well. You know, she gave me a bunch of junk about saying that she was a 7, and admittedly she's she's definitely higher up the charts.
Yeah, now you have no choice.
Yeah,
but to
I
say
mean,
that.
I literally told her last night I can't say she's a 10 because that's like a cheesy answer, right? And she's like, you're right. You can't say I'm a 10 even though I am a 10 because that's a cheesy answer. And so 9, I guess 8, 9. So she listens to the show now, but yeah, we're having a good time, man. She's out this weekend. She's taking a solo trip down to southern Utah to hike one more time before winter sets in. So yeah, things are good. By the way, last night, going to Costco and getting a Costco pot pie and mac and cheese worked out great. Really easy.
So you got a pot pie and mac and cheese?
Oh yeah,
fat ass.
Oh,
Are
yeah,
you
dude.
kidding me?
Oh yeah, dude. I did it, bro.
What are you doing?
What do you mean? What am I doing?
That is not in the macros, man.
Yeah, well, whatever, dude. It's fine. It's fine. I'll live. It is what it is.
Can't do it. Did you eat it off her rack or what's the story?
No, I did not eat mac and cheese off of her rack. Nice question.
Off of anybody?
Thank you.
So
thank you.
What I think is interesting is that you guys are just. I'm not saying you need to be again the same conversation. I'm not saying you need to be rushing, but you're not even defined as anything. So are you going to continue to, date other people?
No, I mean we've talked about how like we're not gonna like sleep with other people or anything. We've talked about that, and I respect that. I'm about that. But no, I mean it's definitely heading in the right direction. I think it's I think you don't really get here, unless you're in agreement that it could be something.
So you're not going to sleep with other people, or you're not going to see other people? Because you hate dating in general.
Yeah, I'm not. Listen, I've never been the guy who dates.
What the fuck? Are you going to thank me for this?
Okay, here we go. For what?
For forcing you to get back on Grindr.
Okay, it's not Grindr, dude. People died on Grindr the other week. Did you not see that story?
No.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's a different
I don't
story.
use Grindr. What is Grindr about?
I don't know what it's about.
No. Okay, well, what's the death thing about?
Okay, a guy went on Grindr, right? He created a profile, and he was meeting gay men on Grindr and killing them. That's what he was doing.
Well, that could happen on any app.
Right. But I'm saying that
I heard about that.
Yeah.
I heard about
I used Hinge. That's what I used.
Okay.
And it worked out.
But I made you get back on Hinge.
Yeah. I mean, well, I was always on Hinge, but you made me start putting effort into it. So whatever. It's fine.
I think it's one of those things where you just hate the dating thing.
Yeah, I don't like dating 10 people at once. It's not my thing. I don't.
You don't
enjoy
like
it.
dating one person at once.
Yeah, I do.
Like you just haven't wanted to put much effort into it.
Yeah, and it's what I've always said. I don't want to put much effort into it until I meet a person, the right person.
But what have I told you?
What?
That you have to. I'm telling you, sometimes you got to swim through 50 yards of shit to get to the other side to find a gem, right? I mean, no, my wife is. Anyway, the point is, I'm telling you now, it's worth it because when you the first time you ever really fall in love, you're gonna just come up to me and you're gonna say, you know what, man, even though you're fat and I'm just way better looking than you, you were completely right about the love thing.
I like this girl, dude. I like her a lot. So.
Are you loving this girl?
No. See, why you got to ask that question?
It's a legitimate. Because I just said, when you fall in love, you'll come back and thank me, and you're like, well, I really like this girl. Okay,
I do like this girl. I do. I like her a lot. We have a good time. We have a good connection. It's easy. It's fun. You don't have to try.
You shouldn't say she's easy.
I didn't say she was easy. That's not what I said.
Sorry, I misunderstood what you said.
See, why you got to make it difficult for me? I didn't say she was easy. I said our connection, our.
Yes, your thing is easy.
Yes.
Yeah, your thing's not easy.
See, you're saying a bunch of stuff.
Your existence, your relationship, your commingling of fluids.
Yes.
We get it.
Yes.
Yes. By the way, are you guys using the chair and a half?
Yes.
How is the chair and a half?
Excellent.
Okay.
It's great. It serves a purpose, and it's a good time.
So it was worth the 72-year wait to get it?
Yeah, it was, actually. Yeah, it was.
All right.
Yeah, it was good.
Well, I'm happy for you. I hope you don't fuck this one up like you did every other relationship.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You haven't. You're not a bad relationship guy. You just haven't historically
What?
made good choices. When you date people who look like your mom,
Dude,
it tends to
why
not
do you
end
do
well.
that?
Tell
I
me.
don't date people that look like my mom. I
Okay.
don't. See, why do you like to make it uncomfortable? Like, why?
What? Uncle Timmy doesn't make it
Bro,
uncomfortable.
why? Why you gotta make it all uncomfortable and everything?
I'm not making it uncomfortable.
Uh-huh.
I'm spitting straight fire.
No,
like,
you're
that's
not.
who
Dude,
he is.
saying that I date people that look like my mom. No, I don't.
Tell me I'm wrong.
You are. Dude, you are.
Okay, so the girl you broke up with Tex doesn't look just like Mrs. Monty.
No, she doesn't.
Oh my
what the hell
God.
are you talking
Oh
about?
my
dude?
God.
No,
you guys
she does
are
not.
very
dude.
similar. Well, not like physically.
You're saying
but
that I'm attracted to people that look like my mom. I'm not, dude.
you like tall
that
brunette
sounds
women.
horrible, bro.
You like tall brunette women.
It sounds horrible.
Do you like tall brunette women?
Yes, I like brunettes. I like redheads. I haven't had the best success dating blondes. It just hasn't worked out that way for me.
Blondes
it is what
have
it
been
is.
a problem for you.
Yeah, like it is what it is. Like,
Blondes have been a landmine for you.
yeah, so that's fine. That doesn't mean I date people that look like my mom.
Well, you have a type, right?
Okay, that doesn't mean they look like my mom,
Okay.
though.
Okay.
Like,
You like tall brunettes, man.
who doesn't?
But I happen to be married a tall brunette.
Okay.
Just saying.
Right, but that doesn't have anything to do with anything. I'm serious. I don't understand what your point is.
That and Monty pressing to get her locked down and knocked up in the first 14 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
That is not true, Gabe. That is not true.
Okay.
It's okay. Just don't date people that look like your dad.
Fuck. Wow.
That is
Man.
solid advice.
Man.
Who are we kidding, guys? Blondes are problems for everybody. It's true. I'm telling you that hair color matters. Hair color determines your mentality.
You are fake.
I mean, I'm telling you, stick with redheads and brunettes.
This girl's a redhead.
You can't
Blue
go
eyes.
wrong. Okay, blue eyes are a problem.
No, it's not.
She's probably a blonde at heart.
No, she's not.
Okay. Yeah. By the way, Mrs. Monty, what
You're
color are Mrs.
being
Monty's
such
eyes?
an asshole about this.
I'm just asking a
You're
question.
being an asshole.
So
I don't know her birthday.
you
I don't know her birthday.
you don't
yet.
know this girl's birthday?
No, I
Okay.
don't.
By the way, so you don't date people that look like your mom. What color is Mrs. Monty's eyes?
why are you pushing this narrative?
I'm just asking a question.
But why? Why? What is it that you think like
Brylark wants to know when the Mrs. Monty show is starting.
Jesus?
Never.
Never, because she doesn't ask me if I date people that look like her.
Just be aware of the crazy eyes and you'll be good.
Yeah.
Tanner says Stacy's mom is got
Yeah.
it going on.
Yeah, dude.
But don't all boys find their mom attractive at some point in their lives?
God, no.
I thought there was a theory
No.
on that.
No,
or
there's
something.
not. There's not. No.
Okay, so what's on the smoker this weekend?
I don't know. We haven't gotten that far.
I
yet.
got to tell you, I really love the turkey meat this week.
Yeah, it was good, but we didn't smoke that.
We did not. Gabe says, quote unquote, I'm just asking a question, and then he puts a bunch of red flags.
Yeah, I mean, come on, guy. Asking a question. You might as well be putting a landmine under my feet.
This is so much about what guys do. You just probe each other. It's usually jealousy. I'm not jealous of you.
Okay.
I'm happy for you. Are you going to bring this girl to Hawaii?
No, it's too soon.
It's too soon.
Yeah, it's too soon.
That's 6 weeks away.
Yeah, but dude, you got to understand the dynamic. It's not. I'm not just like she would have to be comfortable with that. I'd have to be comfortable with that. Like we'd have to be in a full-on relationship for that. Like
James and I, yeah, because God forbid that would happen.
Like,
Full on relationship.
mean-
Whoa, settle down.
I mean, it just. Yeah, I mean, no, it's too soon. Next year, I think is probably.
I'm sorry if I annoyed you.
It's just like, why would you ever say that I date people that I'm attracted to people that look like my mom?
You're
Like
still
that is.
stuck on that.
Yeah, because it's stupid. You always say that, and I don't understand it. I don't get it.
Okay. I ain't wrong, no. James Knight says, natural redhead, Jake?
Yes.
It's not official until you bring her to the show so we can. get
Yeah.
to
So you
know
guys
her.
can all roast her and put me in a bad spot. I know.
Is she ready to meet Uncle Timmy yet?
No.
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 No, that's some time off yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so you don't know what we're smoking this week?
I don't know what we're smoking. Probably chicken. I really like the chicken this week. Probably maybe some fish. Yeah. We'll
Okay.
see.
Bite the bullet, Jake. Take her to Hawaii. You'll sure know if you want to move forward after that.
Yeah, no, it's too soon, dude.
Too soon, Brylar.
It's too soon, man.
soon.
I'm not rushing this thing. I'm doing this one the right way. The last one I rushed and went against my instincts, and that didn't work out.
Yeah, you went against everybody's instincts. Jeremy Bolton says, does she ski or board, Jake?
Ski.
She does ski. Okay. I tried to stop him from. Did I not tell you not to move in with the crazy teacher?
Yeah, you did.
Yes, I did.
You did.
Yes, I did. But did you listen?
No.
There you go. And by the way, I'm still undefeated on the hose. Right? I'm still undefeated. I ain't got one wrong yet.
Yeah, okay.
She skis?
Yes.
You didn't tell me this.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I said that she isn't an active skier. She skied a lot when she was a kid. She tried to learn how to snowboard when she was a kid, but, you know.
Giggity says she hasn't met Uncle Timmy, but she's met Jake's little cousin Jimmy.
Stop, bro. Bro. Stop. See, this is why I have to keep a certain level of privacy and respect for the teacher. You know?
Yeah.
You know? Like,
hey, man. Stretch wants to know what you bench, Jake.
225. 10 times.
Why do people care what you you bench all of a sudden? 225, yeah. Like
10 times.
A half rep.
Hmm?
Anyway. No, you.
Yeah,
you
225, 10 times.
Yeah, you legitimately bench 225.
Yeah.
Which is good. So good.
Yeah, dude.
All right.
That's what I bench, yeah.
All right, we got to roll. Enjoy your weekend. Folks, please hit subscribe. If you're here right now, give us a thumbs up. At 3,000 subscribers, we'll give away this Xbox. Monday, by the way, is our 600 show.
Yeah.
600
It's a big deal,
shows.
bro. That's a big deal.
600 shows. I don't even know how that's possible. 600
I know
shows.
how it's possible. We've been getting up at 4:45 every day for a long time.
Yeah, how does she feel about that?
About what?
About you getting up so early every day.
I mean, she doesn't understand how I'm able to do it. She's like, you get up so early. I'm like, yeah, I know, dude. It's not easy.
Third day. All right, there you go. Hit subscribe. Take a picture. You're subscribed. Tag us on Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok. The Monty Show. MONTY, The Monty Show. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok. Jake is SLC super dating his mom lookalikes. SLC Supercars. Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok. SLC Supercars. Until Monday, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.